Hi, welcome back. So today I had a doctor's appointment this morning, got back and I have a bunch of stuff that I need to do on my to-do list, but first and foremost I need to get my kidding kit put together and ready to go. So what I mean by the kidding kit is it's everything that I could possibly need or use during kidding season. So years, since the time we started with goats, we used to run back and forth from the barn to the house grabbing, paper towels or this or that, a blow dryer, whatever, medicine, constantly running back and forth. Well, our barn is like 300 feet from the house, which isn't a big deal, but in the winter here we kid out December, January, February. So sometimes we're dealing with a lot of snow, sometimes we're dealing with freezing rain and some ice on the ground, and it's winter, so it's cold, and I don't do the cold well. So I'm in muck boots, Carhartts with 3 layers of clothes underneath, bundled up so that I feel like the Michelin tire man. So running back and forth, plus I'm getting too old for that anyways. So I decided to try to make it easier as far as, and especially if I'm by myself, like if Greg would be out on a delivery or somewhere that he can't get here to help me, that I have everything I need with me and I don't have to constantly be leaving the dough and running back to the house for stuff. So I did order this wagon off of Amazon last year, the year before. Just so that I can put everything on it, so that I can have everything that I need on a wagon and it's mobile. So, got the cart. I got an oxygen concentrator, which we have not had to use yet, but I like to be prepared just because you never know. So I have that just in case we need it. Also on the cart is, and you might not be able to see it right now, I attached a power strip with 6 outlets, and I attached it directly to the cart so that way when I go to the barn, we have our like a main extension cord that we have hanging at the front. So when I go in, I plug that extension cord into the power strip that's on the cart, and then I can run that cart from the whole length of the barn, and there's power on my cart. So whether I need it for, suction or blow dryers or whatever, I've got power to that cart. So that's there. And then I have 2 totes that I keep on the cart at all times. So the first tote will be, it will hold my suction machine, which I have for, emergency purposes. Better to have it than not have it. And actually, we have used the suction machine a couple times, and last year I think there was twice that it was like a massive lifesaver for us. Sometimes those kids are born, and they just have this thick and a lot of mucus in their lungs and all this gunk, and you're trying to get it out. You're using paper towels, and you're trying to get as much of it out as you can. There's only so much you can get. So the suction machine comes in handy for that, because then that allows us to suction the airway completely, get them breathing good, and don't have any issues. So we've used it several times, and it just is great to have on hand for us. So I love it. So we have that. Then we have the OB lube in case we need to assist a doe with birthing, paper towels for us or the kids. Let's see. Feeding tubes, which, knock on wood, we have not had to use yet, and I am so thankful for that. But we have them just in case. Like I said, I like to be prepared for pretty much any scenario that we would come across. So we have those. and I hope to God we never have to tube, because that's one thing I don't like doing. Like if we've had to tube calves, but I make Greg tube them because I can't do it. I can do anything else. I'm all into gruesome, slimy stuff that wants to make everybody else sick. I'm into that stuff, but tubing, not so much. So I make Greg tube the calves, and I've just never liked it. I can remember when I was little watching my dad tube calves, and I didn't like it then, and I still don't like it. So that's Greg's job. Wipes, we like to have those just to clean ourselves up if we get a little messy, which happens quite often. Tube of Probias, which I have the guns out in the barn, but we like to have that for Mom. And Dawn dish liquid. Like I said, if we're out there watching, or if we're just out there doing barn work and a doe goes into labor and we're out there and she ends up needing assistance and we need to scrub up to assist, then we have water in the barn, we have our dish soap, we have our paper towels to clean up. Iodine for the baby's umbilical cords. Once they're out, airways are open, they're dried off, I spray down the umbilical cords just to keep them away from infection with that. The goat Nutri-Drench, which is just vitamins, minerals, all kinds of goodies that kind of just gives them a kickstart and kind of gives them that perk me up kind of attitude, you know, like having your cup of coffee in the morning. I gotta have mine before I'm ready to go. Then, let's see. The shorter extension cord that I just like to have just in case we need one to run for whatever. It's there. I don't have to run back to the garage and grab one. Blow dryers, I'm going to throw 2 of those in there. This is one that I have used now for like 5 years. And the goat actually chewed the end off and Greg had to replace it, and I can see that I need to fix my tape because my tape's coming off. But, so that one I'm not sure when it's going to end up croaking, probably this year. So I got a new blow dryer for myself, and I'm going to use mine that I just replaced and put it in there so that I have the blow dryers. That's going to be all for that tote. So that tote will get put down in the cart. Now, in regards to the blow dryers, some people don't like to assist their goats. They feel that, kind of like let Mother Nature do its thing, or they're afraid that the doe might reject the kids, whatever the reason may be, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, my dad was always one that said, you have to let Mother Nature take her course, and I'm a big no. And so my dad would fight me all the time because I would not give up, and I would fight to no end to keep a calf alive, doing no matter what I had to do. So, we like to help. If we don't have to assist her in the actual birthing process, that's great. I'm all for that. But as far as when that kid's out, I make sure the airway's opened. We towel dry them as good as we can get them done with the towel. And then once they're towel dried, then they get blow dried. And I will blow dry those kids until they're completely dry. There's no dampness. Just because either one, it's extremely cold here in the wintertime. I mean, you can, like our warmest days, probably like 30. Sometimes it can get god-awful. And then there's other times that we have fluctuations of, 20, 30 degrees, and then poof, 24 hours later we're at 40 or 50. Well, perfect pneumonia weather. So I just like to make sure that they're nice and dry and warm. So we towel dry, then we blow dry them until they're completely dried up, and you know, Mom's fine. We let Mom lick them and care for them as we're drying them, and Mom doesn't care. None of our goats have. We had one that did not like the blow dryer, but after the first year she kind of got over that, and she doesn't really much give 2 cents about it anymore. So but yeah, so we use the towels, and then once we use them and dry them off, like when we're done in the barn and I go to come in, I'll bring the dirty towels in with me. They go straight down to the washer. We have an older washer in the basement that is used for nothing but barn stuff. So the birthing towels, coats that we have for the goats or the calves or whatever, all that stuff gets washed in that washer. So I'll wash them, dry them, fold them, and put them back into this tote to have ready for the next kid. So I can see I have room to put some more in there, so I'll have to get more of those towels out of the basement to put in that tote. And these towels, like, some of them are our old ones that were just getting a little thin and, you know, or raggedy, and decided to get new towels. So I'll take the old ones and I'll cut them in half and use them for birthing towels. Which I did that last year or the year before. And then I had to throw several away last year just because they were getting to be, you know, nothing to them. So then these towels that I just put in the tote, I actually got at Salvation Army. And, you know, they're a fraction of the cost, and I bring them home, I cut them in half. Depending on how big the towel is, you can cut them into quarters. And it's just, I don't know, I like it. I mean, a lot of people were saying they just use paper towels. Well, my gosh. I like to use gobs of paper towels to begin with, so to dry off a baby, I would probably use a whole roll just to dry one baby. So towels work better for me. But, so that is nothing but towels. And then also we have a scale that we have in its carrier on the side of the cart. And this scale was recommended to us by a friend of mine. We used to have the hanging digital scale by Premier One with the little sling that you put the kids in, and then you hang and hold them and weigh it. Worked fine. There was nothing wrong with it. But when you start to do a lot of babies and you want to keep up with documenting weights along the way as they get older, like that sling gets to be a little ridiculous, and you can only go up to, you know, so much before you can't weigh them on that anymore. So we wanted something to be able that we could weigh, you know, up into like 100, 125, 150 pounds. So she mentioned this scale, which is a large dog scale platform, and it works great. Like, we got it last summer, so we really didn't use it on any kids. Maybe the late-born kids used this on them. But we have an old deep freeze out there that we have our feed in, so that it just works good. I can set this on top of the freezer once the kids are dried and, you know, everything. Then I just turn it on, go over, sit the kid in the middle of the platform, get my weight, and go about my business. So that will make it a lot easier, and especially if you're by yourself. Like with the hanging digital scale, if I was by myself trying to, you know, fight Mom to let me get the kid picked up, get the kid put in the sling, and try to hold the sling up and get a weight while it's flailing and carrying on and squealing for Mom, and Mom's squealing for him. This just will make it a little easier. The other thing that we get ready this time too is this little tote that we have. So in here, now this tote does not go to the barn because it has medicine that, you know, we can't have freezing and then or freezing and then coming back into, you know, 80 degrees or whatever it may be. And I'm gonna sneeze. Not that I said that I won't sneeze, but I can feel My eyes are watering. Okay, let's talk through that. So, anyways, in here is everything that we would need medicine-wise to give injections. So we've got our 3 different sizes of needles that we use most often. I like the 20 gauge 1/2 inch, the 18 gauge 1 inch, and the 16 gauge 1 inch, which those are mostly for like the cows. My different size syringes, I've got 60 cc, 12, 6s, we got a bunch of syringes in there, and I've got more like in our med room, but this is just kind of like grab and go. Scissors and a digital thermometer. And then in here I have an extra bottle of iodine just to have in case for, you know, babies, umbilical cords, whatever. So in here I have different meds. Most of them are meds that, these are most of the meds like that we would most commonly use if we had to use something. So we've got like our LA200, of course penicillin we use, but it has to stay refrigerated, so it's in the refrigerator. So these are meds that, you know, are shelf stable. So I have LA200, B12, Boce, Dex, Banamine, Resflor Gold, Thiamine, Oxytocin, Xanil. So, I mean, that's the majority of what we would probably need if we would need anything in an emergency situation. We do have other meds on stock that we have. Oh, that reminds me. I have IV bags of lactated ringers too that I do want to get a bag of lactated ringers in here with an IV kit, just in case. But that is mostly everything that we would need for an emergency situation, or, you know, dealing with the goats during kidding season. So that will stay in here. It'll stay in our mud room, and it stays about 60, 65 in the mud room, so it's fine for that stuff to sit there, and then we'll run and grab it if we need it. But this way everything's in one tote and away you go. Simple. Other than that, we've got heat lamps are up, cart's done, meds are ready. Now it's just basically cameras are up and functioning so far. Fingers crossed. This is our first year with the wireless Wi-Fi security cameras. So hopefully that goes well. And babies sometime in about a week, next Friday through Sunday maybe. I'd have to look at the calendar, I forget what it is, but those should be happening soon, within like the next 7-ish days, give or take. So getting close down to the wire, getting excited, and excited to bring you some videos of that. So, but until then, I'm going to go finish up my stuff, get my cart parked in the mudroom, and get outside and get a few more things done. And I will see you guys soon. Thanks.